Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode and the start of season 2 here guys, and big news, we have the brand new patch. So we're going to kick things off not just with an R&D reset from the rules change, but also with the new patch. The cars are going to be 1 to 1.5 seconds quicker, so it's going to be absolutely bonkers. And if you guys are excited for this, straight off the bat, drop a like on the video and let's get into it. Now first of all, if you guys missed the finale of season 1 for Abu Dhabi, then watch the race guys by clicking on the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. There will also be a full link to the entire playlist so far, so if you guys are new to the channel and you didn't see season 1, then go watch it, get up to speed before we jump into this video guys and into any further spoilers. Now on screen we've got the season 1 results / the recap, and we've got the positions there and also the R&D chart going into the start of season 2. You can see on screen the second best team, Red Bull, are going really strong towards the end of the season. They were really improving and upgrading really quickly, and in terms of race wins, a pretty decent season to be fair. We've got quite a few wins, and you can't see the second half of the table, but overall we picked up I think 5 wins or 6 wins in season 1, and it was pretty damn good. But now we're going to jump into the laptop for the first time in season 2, and first of all we're going to jump into some driver moves, because oh my days, have we got some absolute bombshells, and we've got loads of them, absolutely loads of them. The biggest transfer of the winter, Lewis Hamilton signs for Red Bull Racing, and he's going to replace Max Verstappen. If you look down, Max Verstappen is going to move to Alfa Romeo, replacing Kimi Räikkönen, and that's a massive bombshell in itself. Kimi Räikkönen is going to move to Williams, and then in terms of Williams, obviously Kubica is out. He's been replaced, so he will no longer be in Formula 1. He's not coming back. He's out of the sport for now as Räikkönen takes his spot. And then elsewhere, Valtteri Bottas is back in Formula 1, and he's going to Racing Point, replacing Charles Leclerc, because Charles Leclerc has gone to Haas. Romain Grosjean also is out of F1 and has been let go. So Grosjean and Kubica are out of F1 permanently, and Gasly and also Bottas make their comeback. Gasly though, he goes to Mercedes. He takes Lewis Hamilton's seat and that spare position, and that is your grid / transfer roundup going into this season. So some big changes. In my opinion, the grid is much stronger as Kubica and Grosjean are out and Gasly and Bottas are back, and Lewis Hamilton has signed for Red Bull. I cannot believe it, and it's big, really big, because as you can see on screen right now, this was the R&D chart going into Australia before the patch was released. I managed to load up Australia before the patch update on PC, and you can see it on screen. Red Bull absolutely destroyed everybody in the winter with the upgrades. I mean, what the hell is that? They absolutely just... They're on steroids. They're officially back to 2011 Red Bull OPness. Red Bull are going to be untouchable. Mercedes are back to second place. We're third. Haas a big jump up to fourth. Renault, Williams, everyone pretty much progressing except for Toro Rosso, who went downhill quite badly there. But this isn't the worst, because then I loaded up the game with the new patch. Oh my god. Now the actual grid got a little bit closer, but the gaps between got bigger. Red Bull are further ahead than they were before. Mercedes are now easily second, and Haas somehow are third quickest, and we've dropped down to fourth. Our car has been made worse with the patch, and then after that you've got a ridiculous midfield of Renault, McLaren, Racing Point, Williams, Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso. Absolutely bananas, insane R&D reset. So really mad stuff, and it's going to be an exciting season. We've got a lot of work to do, because if you actually look at the R&D chart, we're actually closer to Toro Rosso, who are last, than to Red Bull, who are first. Even though we're the fourth quickest team, we've got a lot of catching up to do, and Red Bull have got a massive head start, and Hamilton has timed this switch to perfection, and he's going to be in the strongest car on the grid. So could Hamilton be a 7-time world champion this season for Red Bull? That would be bananas and absolutely insane. But now let's look at some other things. Now for this season, I've got some mods and some updates. So first of all, I've got an updated helmet. I've switched from blue to red, and I've made a few changes to the overall livery of the helmet, and I'm really happy with it. It fits the Ferrari car much better. And then in terms of the actual livery in itself, the race suits now have the 90th anniversary branding along with the sponsoring on the helmet. I've modded that in. Also, we've got some updated tyres, so the tyres are a bit more shiny, a bit more like the real life ones. Also, we've got updated sponsor boards from Australia all the way up to Britain, so they're actually realistic, like the real life races with the likes of Johnny Walker, for example, Tag Heuer, and those kind of sponsors that you don't really see in the F1 games because of age restrictions. So those are now in the game as well. And then elsewhere, other mods, we do have a pretty tasty stall mod as well for the wet. So the spray is going to be far more intense. And I think pretty much that's all the mods, I think, off the top of my head that I can think of that have been addressed. Oh, we've also got updated liveries as well. So Racing Point have actually got Sport Pacer on their car instead of SP Score. Renault have the updated kind of black rear wing. And then other little livery updates here and there in other cars. McLaren, of course, have the lift sponsoring and a few other sponsors they put into their car recently. So overall, new liveries, updated 90th anniversary branding for the Ferrari, new tyre mod, stall mod, and then of course we have the massive R&D regulation reset. So there's a lot of things happening and it's all mad. But now let's jump into the action here and let's get into practice. So first of all, the first practice session of the season, and the cars were quick, really quick. And also, it seems like my wheel was glitched, both my G29 and when I used the SPC Racer, both of them I think were glitched because the force feedback strength was unreal the second I hit the track for the first time with the new update. The wheel was so much stronger and I actually had to turn my force feedback settings down, so it looks like that's fixed, which is great news. And in terms of practice, it was a successful session because we managed to hit most of our targets. Track acclimatization, race strategy, and also profile performance test was not ideal. We got the green score, not purple, but still good points nonetheless. Now for this weekend, I've actually I'm using 108% AI for this one, and I'm going to try and stick with it for the entire race weekend, and we're going to see how things go. Already I've noticed a few things with the updated AI pace / the patch, and I'll address it in another video or maybe in the next couple of episodes. I want to see if there's a consistent pattern here, but already some things that worry me, and you'll see it in this session. But now we're going to jump into qualifying. You see there the Renault with the updated rear wing in black, like I mentioned before. And the grid's crazy now. You know, there's Kimi Räikkönen in the Williams. That Renault before was actually Sergio Perez's Renault because he moved last season, mid-season. And we saw briefly Hamilton in the Red Bull. There's Lucas Weber, Hamilton's teammate. That's going to be a very strong pairing because Lucas Weber's AI this year in this year's game is very strong. So I'm looking forward to see how those two kind of match up. But yeah, overall it's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be very, very promising. We just need to do a lot of work because this car needs improving. You know, it doesn't feel bad, but compared to other cars, it doesn't have the pace. Now in Q1, you can see here Lewis is setting the pace in the Red Bull, and we're trying to see if we can try and match him. Currently 3 tenths down through sector 1, and you can see the brand new red helmet there in all its glory, looking absolutely fantastic with my channel logo on the top as we go through the fast chicane. Absolutely perfect line through there, and overall it was actually a pretty decent lap. We're not that far off the pace after 2 sectors, but then I noticed an issue, like I said before, a recurring theme, and the AI were unbelievably quick through sector 3, and you can see on screen I haven't made any mistakes. It's been a very smooth, very easygoing sector 3, but somehow I'm going to drop like a second minimum of pace in this sector. You can see as we cross the line here, 1.5 off the Red Bull of Lewis Hamilton as Max Verstappen in the Alfa Romeo leaves the pit lane. And yeah, overall, look at the Red Bull, it's really quick, simple as that. You know, there's a second from first to fourth place, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We go through in P10, 1.5 off the pace, but now in Q2 we're going to go for our best lap in this session. We're going to try and stick to one run and use one set of tyres only, and we're going to see how the lap goes. We're going to step on board for a full lap here of Albert Park. Turns 1 and 2, absolutely perfect, throwing the car in, the extra downforce with the patch making it much more enjoyable. And now down towards turn 3, braking as the ball disappears on the left hand side, down to second gear, briefly first to get the rotation, and then through this left I run a bit wide, missing my apex a little bit. You normally want to just kind of tap that inside curb as we go flat out through the fast right, and sector 1 draws to a close, and 2 tenths down so far on Lucas Weber, who's setting the pace at the moment as we now go into sector 2. Fantastic run through there, through the little right-left complex, and now flat out through the right as we now go into this kind of tricky off-cambered 90-degree right over the bump, which feeds into kind of a curved traction zone onto the back straight. But to be fair, we absolutely nailed it. 4th gear, really paying dividends for us. And coming into sector 2, we actually pull some lap time back, and we're actually not doing too bad here. Only 4 tenths behind Lucas Weber here as we now go towards the end of the lap. And 4 tenths after 2 sectors, I think to myself, you know what, that's not bad. We lost 2 tenths in the first, 2 tenths in the second. That's okay for me, and I think we could definitely pull this away. But now going through the final sector, we lost a lot of time in the last session, so I was trying to make sure I pushed a lot harder this time as we now go into the penultimate corner here, trying to make sure we don't lock up and make no mistakes as we now go through the final corner, keeping it nice and tight on the power, open up the ERS, and that is it. And it's flat out to the line using overtake ERS, and you can see on the delta on the top left, we lost a lot of time again, and we lost 9 tenths in that final sector. Really, really strange because I made no mistakes, and you can see on screen I'm currently P8, then P9, and I was P9 until the timer ran out, and then when the timer ended and we faded to the results, we was P11 and knocked out. So again, in my opinion, that's proof of the qualifying time glitch still existing in the game, because that can still happen. There's no signs of you getting knocked out, and then suddenly you get knocked out entirely from Q2. But yeah, also I think the AI set a fast the Sector 3 is OP, because when you simulate time and you let them do their laps, for some reason they're coded to do ridiculous Sector 3. So yeah, that's overall, that's kind of like my little rant and the things I noticed. But it seems like when you simulate time, the AI have a ridiculous OP sector. In this case, in Australia, it's Sector 3. So yeah, nothing we could do. We are going to start the race on P11, but that's not bad news, because we are going to get the free choice of tyre, and in race pace we should be much more competitive. And the AI, because we're on track, they won't be able to do OP Sector 3, because I'm going to be on track with them, so they won't have that kind of time simulation issue. So hopefully we can have a good race, and the free choice of tyre pays dividends for us. With that being said, let's jump into it. It's time for round 1 of Season 2 for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's get to work.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written.
The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Devon Butler put in a fantastic lap yesterday and will start from pole position. And starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Weber, Lewis Hamilton and Bottas, Magnussen, Leclerc, Perez and Martinez, Raikkonen, Russell, Lando Norris and Giovinazzi, Fiat, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Alexander Albon. Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for round 1 of Season 2 for the Australian Grand Prix. And we start from P10, row 5, alongside a Renault. Not too bad, as someone got a penalty, I believe. And I believe only Lewis Hamilton in front of us in the Red Bull has the medium tyres on. So we're going to try and go nice and long, go for the one stopper. And I think a few others might go for the one stopper. It is possible to do a soft medium or a soft hard pretty easily. But I think I've got the tyre advantage in terms of our tyres should not really struggle with wear that much, and that's what I'm kind of banking on. That will give us the X factor this race. In terms of the strategy though, let's have a look. So we're going to start off on the mediums and then use the hards, and tyre wear shouldn't be much of a factor. Fuel wise, we're running 0.5 lap extra fuel, and no chance of rain here today. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into it and see how we get on, and hopefully we can have a good race and try and challenge for those higher positions. My target is to get a top 5. I think that's realistic, and hopefully the strategy allows us to do that. With that being said though, let's just jump into it and let's see how we get on for round 1 of Season 2 for the Australian Grand Prix. It's race time. Right, here we go. Building up the revs to the sweet spot as the 5 red lights come on here at Australia. Lights out and away we go. Quite a poor start, to be honest. We got off quite poorly and they didn't really react to the 5 lights that well. Russell and Kimi down the inside. We're going to just get on the brakes there. Almost hit Raikkonen, but we are going to retake the position and get back in front of the Iceman as we race down towards turn 3. We're going to try and stay on the inside here and avoid getting overtaken down the inside if possible. And there we go, that's okay for now. We remain in P10 on the mediums. We've got people on the softs behind, so we're going to be on the back foot for pace, I think, early on. We've got Sergio Perez in front in the Renault, Charles Leclerc in the Haas in front of him. So a couple of competitive midfield cars who are punching, I'd say above their weight, but Haas are actually quicker than us. So
Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Have a look at the inside of Perez there. I fancy myself, and we're going to try and get past here. Let's see what we're like with straight line speed this season compared to a Renault, as we crank up to overtake mode. Can we go on the outside of Sergio? Yes, we do. That's what I'm talking about. Fantastic move on the Renault, and we're up to P9 now. We've got a bit of a scrap developing here. It looks like Bottas maybe in the Racing Point. Yeah, Bottas. Hamilton as well behind him in the Red Bull, and then Magnussen and Leclerc behind him. So these four all squabbling out. Bottas and Hamilton, former Mercedes teammates. Now one is in the Racing Point, the other one racing for Red Bull. Not something you ever thought would happen. But lap one draws to a close, and it was a successful opening lap. Bottas is under pressure here. He's struggling for pace big time, so he might be vulnerable, as Magnussen's going to go for the move, I think, or not. Let's have a look. Turn one, we've got to be careful. We're going to get a nice clean run. Get the exit. Try and get the toe on Leclerc in the Haas. Can we challenge into the brake zone? Around the outside. Can we get both of them? Inside for the next corner. Magnussen on the outside. Yes, we do. Wow, what a move. Gave Magnussen the squeeze there. I think Bottas has got wing damage because he's running wide at every corner. So let's try and get past the Racing Point. And then we'll be P6 on the mediums, which will be fantastic for us. And it will definitely bode well for our race. So let's try and get past Valtteri here. Very low on fuel already. I should have put more fuel in, I think. I think the move is going to happen at the chicane. We're going to crank up to hot lap mode, try and get the momentum, and we should get a good exit out of the chicane to pass Bottas, especially if he's got wing damage. He's going to be very slow. So here we go. Bottas struggling to go flat there, and there we go. We're going to get on the inside. Bottas giving me a squeeze, but to no avail, and we're going to get past.
Nice move. Good job.
Wow, that was a send and a half. Charles Leclerc absolutely bombarding one down the inside there, and re-overtaking me. Did not expect that one. What an absolutely explosive start to this race. Let's try and keep up with Charles Leclerc here if we can. Okay, we've got DRS on Leclerc here. He has got good pace. As we set a personal best 24.9. I'm quite happy to just sit behind him, to be honest, because he's quicker than me at the minute. I'm just hanging on because of DRS, and I can try and save some fuel, but at the same time I'm tempted to make the pass. We'll see. Hopefully, I think I'll try and time it so when his tyres just start to go off, maybe not lap 5, lap 6, I'll try and overtake him and use his medium tyres to pull away. Well, let's try and set up Charles Leclerc for a move here through the final corner. There we go, DRS. We're going to crank it up a little bit and try and make this overtake. We're going to stay in rich mix and hot lap and try and pass him down towards turn 3. A little bit of dirty air kicking in there through turn 1. But now we're going to get the run. Here we go. We're actually pretty average for straight line speed. The Haas is actually pretty decent. Leclerc with the squeeze. We're going to have to go very wide, but we are going to take it. And we're going to go all the way around the outside, even with the lockup and a little bit of grass. And there we go, we're past, and back in front of the Haas. So there we go, fantastic move on Leclerc. Let's try and see if we've got the pace to pull away now, and try and catch up to the top 5, including Lewis, who's on that medium tyre. Let's see if we can try and get that gap down a bit, even though I think he's going to be too quick. We're slowly leaving Leclerc behind, as we set a personal best.
The car in front is 6.5 seconds.
The gap's pretty much staying the same to Lewis. It's not going up or coming down. It's floating around 6 to 6.5 seconds. There is a little bit of a group in front that you can see there battling pole position, so hopefully that continues. Hopefully Seb is involved, so hopefully he can make progress and go forwards. But at the minute I believe a Mercedes is leading. It might be Pierre Gasly, so let's see how this pans out. But so far so good in this medium tyre. It's working okay. At the moment my tyres actually look pretty good. 24 is the most worn, which is the left sided tyres. I can allow that to pretty much double and we could get to lap 16. So at the minute, I'm looking at a soft tyre in the final stint instead of a hard. I think if we could stretch these at a decent pace, it could be possible, because the soft tyre would be a fresh one, not a used. So I reckon we could do maybe 11-12 laps with it. So let's see. I'm going to see how long that leaders stay out for, because they're on softs. With the exception of Lewis, everyone in front of him is on softs. So let's see how long they stay out for. And I'll try and run some numbers and see, but at the minute I've got one eye on the soft tyre now, because it could bring us into the race. It does look like everyone that's on the soft is going to one-stop it and go into the hard tyre, so that soft tyre is looking a lot more like the preferred choice at this stage to get us into the race if we want to make any more progress, because we're not going to make that progress on the hard tyre because our pace is very similar to the leaders. So yeah, we're going to have to consider the soft and try and risk it. I'm starting to use my ERS modes a little bit more now, because I've kind of maxed out in standard engine mode, so I'm trying to pick up the pace elsewhere.
Okay, gap ahead is 7.1 seconds.
See if I can dabble with some low and hot lap mode, and at the minute it seems to be working. Personal best has making good progress here.
Sebastian is in the pits.
Okay, so the leader's pitting, and we're going to jump up to P3.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Personal best, they're actually going to go for the medium, so they're going to stretch it, so we definitely have to go for the soft at the end now. If we want to try and compete in this race, we need to make it to that soft tyre. Okay, so now we've got Gasly in the pit lane for Red Bull. Sorry, for Mercedes. That's going to take a while to get used to. He also goes into the mediums.
Okay, just to advise you, we're expecting the tyre grip to start falling off noticeably around now, but this set should be okay for a while longer despite that.
Yeah, they still feel okay. I'm noticing a little bit of wear now, and I'm struggling to maintain the lap times. I'm having to really concentrate and make absolutely no mistakes, but the pace is holding on okay, so let's keep our head down. We're setting the pace. 23.2, that's about a second lap quicker than me, so he's probably going to catch me before I pit in and have a pit stop on me, so yeah, it's going to be tricky, but that's the strategy we've got, that's the hand we've been dealt. I do wonder if maybe they might two-stop, and maybe they might just push really hard on those mediums and then come in and go for another set. So we'll keep our options open. We're currently P2, but my gut tells me that AI are going to one-stop it and try and get the mediums to the end.
The car behind's tyres are in much better condition than yours. We'll keep an eye on the times.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I can 100% notice that. Weber's really quick, really quick. And a part of me does hope he pits again, because if he doesn't, he's going to completely just walk this race. He's much quicker than Lewis in race trim. I mean, I'm keeping pace with Lewis here. I'm matching his lap times. The gap is like 6.5 seconds. And it's kind of stellar the entire stint, to be honest. I just can't catch him, but he's not pulling away. Well, to be fair, it's now 7.9. I don't even know where that's come from. That's just kind of happened over the last couple of laps. Either way, I've been stuck behind Ricciardo here for about 2 laps now, and he's not really moving out of the way with the blue flags. Now he finally does. There's going to be a compromised line though through there, but still we'll pass Ricciardo. We'll probably pit in next lap, I reckon, for the softs.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Oh man, I swear, if there's a VSC now for that, or something, that'd be fantastic. But it looks like, we're not going to get anything. The safety car yet to make its presence felt in this career mode. Even the VSC hasn't appeared yet, so we're going to pit in this lap for the soft tyres. Right, here we go then. We're going to pit in for fresh soft tyres, as will Lewis probably. He should be in this lap. And yeah, he does come in. So there we go. We're both going to pit in. We've made it. Nice long stint on the mediums. And now into the pit lane we go. Get it all slowed down. It's a very slow pit entry at 60, but there we go. We sorted it out. Right, come on boys, nice good stop please.
Complete, go now.
Great stop, 2 seconds flat, that's what I'm talking about. So myself and Lewis are on softs, there's Gasly, there's Sebastian, and we're back down to P6. Hopefully we do rejoin with clean air, although Leclerc does worry me. Up to speed.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Okay, so Leclerc pits in, so there we go, we're clean air, P6. Up next, my teammate Sebastian Vettel, as expected. Ultimately, our car doesn't have pace, so yeah, let's try and chase these guys down and see if we can get something else out of this race. The soft tyres should do damage. If not, we'll focus on the extra point. So we'll go for a hot lap on the next lap. So let's charge everything up and have enough to go for one absolute banzai lap. Right then, let's go for it. One hot lap coming up. Let's see if we can try and get the extra point. Gasly and Vettel are battling really hard just up the road.
We're trailing our teammate by 5.9 seconds.
So hopefully if we can catch them. Let's focus on this lap first. Let's make it a qualifying lap. A little bit wide there. It isn't going to help in terms of the fastest lap, as I'm competing against Lewis for it. A little bit of a scruffy end to the lap. Lewis has a 22.5 or 22.4, sorry. Let's see what we do. Up to the line. Do we beat it? Yes, we do.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Comfortably beat it, 21.6. And now we're right behind Gasly and Vettel, so let's make this double pass and try and secure P4. Through the chicane here, good exit. Vettel's going to try and challenge Gasly here. They almost get taken out. We're going to go to the outside. A little bit wide there, a little bit of a lock up. We are going to take Seb though, I think. Side by side with my teammate. Can we go on the outside here? Seb giving me the push onto the outside there, but we're going to try and stick with it. Right on the outside, a little bit of contact. That's my bad. Hit my own teammate there. And Seb's going to try and overtake me now. We're losing time here. This is not ideal.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds.
Just going to let Seb take that one. We'll try and take him now though into turn 3. I'm not going to bother trying to hang around the outside because we're losing too much time. A bit of grass action here down the inside. Let's get that move done. There we go, this time we're past. There we go. Lost too much time there, but now we can chase after Pierre. And let's make it a nice easy pass for P4. Wasn't quite close enough there, surprisingly. So Gasly's holding on. We'll have to try and pass him elsewhere. He'll probably be out of the chicane as we pick up our first track extension of the race. Here we go for the chicane. Nice and tidy. And now we wait for the DRS. Rich mix enabled. We'll go to the inside. Gasly's going to give me just about enough room as we slip through. And there we go, up to P4.
Great manoeuvre. You made it look easy.
Cheers, Jeff. Right, let's use what's left of these tyres now to try and chase after Devon Butler. He's not that far up the road, to be fair. We've got enough laps, so if the tyre holds on long enough, we could chase down Devon Butler here and get a podium out of this. So let's get to work and let's try and chase after him.
Our tyre data is looking positive so far. We think there's plenty of life left in these for the moment.
Good to hear, it's encouraging as we're pushing on here. They still feel pretty decent, so let's just keep pushing and forget about tyres for now. There we go, Kvyat gets out of the way quite nicely. Now we've got to get past Sergio Perez, or I think actually it's Daniel Ricciardo to be fair. Yeah, it's Daniel Ricciardo.
Gap to car in front is 7.4 seconds.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's my second track extension now. That was a bit too close for comfort. One more track extension and we've got a penalty, so we're going to take it easy from now on. I don't think we're going to catch Butler. We're not gaining enough. We're getting about 7/10 a lap, which is not really enough as he's 7.5 up the road. So we're just going to set off a P4, I think.
Caution, caution.
Oh, yellow flag.
Be aware,
Oh,
there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Devon Butler. The Mercedes. Wow. They've been so bulletproof. Last season, I don't think there was a single retirement.
Green flag.
And now Devon's retired straight away this season. So we're now up to P3. Just when I gave up hope, we've been gifted a podium. So there we go. And we're going to get the extra point for the purple lap. So let's bring it home. Pretty much one lap to go. Lovely stuff. Well, that is it then. This is the final lap of the race. And the Red Bulls, I've got to say, they really stretched their legs in the second half of the race. Lewis Hamilton, 17.5 up the road. Really, really long way to go. I'm just turning the engine down now. As Lucas Faber wins the opener in Australia for Red Bull. And it's going to be a 1-2 for them with Hamilton in P2. Myself and Lewis with the big recoveries. And Lewis started from P7 on the mediums. I started from P11 on the mediums. And I'll take a podium. We deserve that for our efforts. And we're going to score 16 points because there's 15 plus the 1 for the fastest lap. Overall, a good race. Grazie ragazzi. Forza Ferrari. Buon lavoro. Grazie.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Right, so here we have the final race results as Lucas Weber and Lewis Hamilton make it a 1-2 for Red Bull Racing, and we come home P3, running at the podium with the fast lap of the Grand Prix, scoring the extra point. Pierre Gasly P4 for Mercedes and Sebastian Vettel P5 in the second Ferrari. Kevin Magnussen best of the rest. Max Verstappen from P19 on the grid, P7 for Alfa Romeo. Really good performance from him. And then Charles Leclerc in the Haas, P8 in his debut race for them, with Sergio Perez P9 and George Russell scoring a point for Williams there in P10. Giovinazzi for Alfa missing out along with Stroll, Norris, Albon, Sainz, Bottas, Ricciardo, Kvyat, with Devon Butler retiring alongside Kimi Raikkonen in the Williams. But now let's look at the standings. Now the driver standings of course are going to be the same as the race, but the difference is we have one extra point to our name, so 16 points for us, only 2 behind Lewis. And in terms of the constructors, we are in second place, Red Bull scoring a maximum 43 points out of 43. If you don't include the fastest lap, and we are currently on 26 points. So overall, not too bad as Mercedes at equal points there with Haas. But yeah, a poor start for lots of teams. Luckily for us, even though we're not that quick, damage limitation, and we managed to get a podium and some decent points. But I'm not going to put any upgrades on because I think the best way to progress forward in this season, and considering the situation that we're in, is by doing bigger upgrades, like major ones and also ultimate ones. So we're going to save up a big flurry of points, and I think the first 4 races could be tough, but I think come Spain, maybe Baku, we'll see. The first 3 or 4 races could be tough, and then come Spain or Baku, we're going to bring on a major raft of updates. So we'll probably put some upgrades on in the next episode, and then some after China as well. So we'll see how that one pans out. But guys, that is it for episode 1 of season 2 of Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, drop a like and subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.